Hello and welcome to Crypto Bible. My name's Oliver, and in today's episode, it's another Oliver and Experts episode. Prepare to be excited because I have Jonathan Rivera. He's a blockchain development specialist. I have him waiting, so I'm going to bring him in right now and we can have a chat.
Hey, Oliver, how's it going?
Hey, Jonathan, thanks so much for joining us today. I want to jump straight in. So first of all, anyone that's watching this episode, can you just explain to us who it is you are and what do you do? What do you offer?
Yeah, of course, and thank you again for having me. So my name is Jonathan. I started my professional background. I actually started in aviation. I started in aviation back in 2014, and I started with an emphasis um, on mechanics and really just the aviation industry was um, where I started, right, and kind of what I
Okay.
wanted to do. Now, when I started, I had the neat opportunity to, travel the world and to take advantage of that. It This happened around 2019, where I said, because of all the traveling I was doing, I wanted to create an idea, a platform. But I said, in order to do this, I need to learn, about programming. I need to learn, because I had a technical background, but it was mainly mechanical and having to
Yeah.
do, right? So what I said was, I need to get that technical background, and I need to learn programming, right? So around, you know, early 2020 is when the pandemic started. So when this happened, what I did was I was able to apply to MIT, which is here in Massachusetts Institute of Technology. I was able to apply, and I got in for programming, right? With an emphasis on databases and an emphasis on really decentralized nodes and decentralized programming, which is blockchain
Yeah.
essentially, right? With my background was in JavaScript, object-oriented languaging, right? And also, mobile development, which is, Swift, which is for iOS. That was my background. But the neat thing about, MIT is that I was able to learn about Solidity, which is the smart contracts. I was able to learn about um, not just how the smart contracts work, but how they interact with blockchains, how to use a wallet, how to connect it, through an oracle, how to connect the smart contract with an oracle to get data from the outside. So I was able to learn all of that, and it was really neat. And I had the opportunity to actually talk about the future of blockchain, specifically with NFTs.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was able to kind of talk about that in a TEDx talk in Mexico last year, late
That's
last year.
that's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, and it was, you know, really my thing. My biggest thing is, I'm just like everyone else. I invest in crypto, and I love the aspect of crypto. But what I love the most, though, is blockchain for everyday adoption, like talking about blockchain and how it can affect our lives positively with maybe with the people that aren't as technical. And the reason being is because I want them to realize that the same way that a couple years ago we were able to adapt to social media, right?
Yeah.
Non-technical people that have no idea or very little knowledge, they use social media today like nothing. They use it every day. They use it for their personal use. They use it for business. It's a part of our, social media today is a part of our everyday lives. And I feel and I want to share, have people realize that NFTs will soon be that in a couple of years.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about blockchains then.
Yeah, yeah,
What blockchains do you see being, the top? I mean, we know ETH is the second biggest coin at the moment,
yeah.
but there's a lot of gas fees. It's slow. But what blockchains do you see that you like that perform well, and ones that could maybe perform really well in the future, or even flip Ethereum?
Well, that's a really neat question. I mean, what I what I love about Ethereum is also, I think, the problem. What I love about Ethereum is the community,
Yeah,
how Ethereum is very welcoming. Um, obviously, you know, the Ethereum network, or sorry, the Ethereum token is the second most validated crypto, right? But also, I think that the ease of, for example, solidity is very object oriented, which I think is very welcoming. And the idea of the smart contracts, essentially like a digital vending machine, right? Where you can create programs that interact directly, you with the person you're trying to transact, and
sure.
it's immutable, right? Like, that idea is great, and I love how Ethereum is very welcoming. But you're right, it is slow in the gas fees. And I think the problem with Ethereum is also, I believe that it might be, or it might be a little saturated, in the sense that everybody focuses directly on Ethereum when we have a lot of chains. Like, for example, Ripple and XRP. I think that the the future of Ripple is really great. If Ripple, I mean, a couple years ago they had that fallout with the SEC.
Yeah.
That's why, for example, in the States, we can't necessarily buy XRP right now, through a mainnet wallet. But one neat thing is that XRP is becoming bigger and bigger and more welcoming to the development community. Number one, but also, um, the fees are very low. The fees are very low right now with XRP, and it welcomes, those that develop on Python. It has a JavaScript library as well. So I think, I would like to think that XRP is really going somewhere, once we get past that hunch. The other one is Solana, for example. Solana, and the use, the other programming language that a lot of developers use for that, environment is Rust, right?
Okay.
And I think that that's growing really big as well. I think that it's getting more and more, because, again, when there's demand, but that demand is not being met, um, the best way to get the word out is the same way that, for example, crypto was able to get the word out. Um, Social media, getting people involved. Everybody talks about NFTs. I mean, and some people understand it, some people don't, and that's okay. But they're talking about it.
Yeah,
They're talking
exactly.
about it. That's. So
And okay, it's interesting. So we can move on to NFTs because
yeah,
what I like and love about NFTs is when NFT has a utility. So we see a lot of projects that are recently coming out. They've got like Creeps, you've got Metaverse,
yeah,
where you can use your NFT and stake it on the blockchain and earn a passive income. So, and then you've got NFTs that are, just digital art that you have ownership of, and then you have NFTs that have a P2E system. So there's kind of within just an NFT, there's a load of other things that are happening as well. What kind of NFTs do you see doing really well are ones that you like?
yeah. I mean, I know that there's a lot of, the NFTs that I normally buy are the ones that have some sort of identity to the person. I know, for example, I mean, I think people was great. NBA Top Shot is, I think that's a really neat idea. Um, I would dare to say, though, that I think that the more utility, I like how you mentioned that, because I think that, if we can kind of start adapting to NFT, but have a use for it. Like, for example, why is it such a, like, a far-fetched idea to, why don't we tokenize ourselves?
Yeah,
Why don't we create a token of our ID, right? So, for example, like if I'm going to the bank, if I'm gonna fly, I go to the airport, I have to present identification to be able to go through security. Now, what if I can present my NFT,
Yeah.
right? What like that isn't like, and that's something that everybody can get on board.
Yeah.
And the obstacle with that is a very non-technical. That's trust. Um, I think that as a whole, you know, the government, I don't think that they're quite on board with it. And I think that that's really, we have all of us over here, and then we have the government over here. So at some point, we're gonna have to, um, meet. We're gonna have to, whether it's to regulation, which we're starting to talk about it and see
Mm.
here in the United States, for example. Um, Normally regulation is bad, but I think in this case, I think it might be good because if we can start normalizing it, I think that that's going to be a much bigger thing, and it's gonna happen eventually. It's bound to happen.
Yeah. And do you think that will just increase, crypto adoption, NFT adoption, with it being more regulated?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, um, what's happening right now, for example, like if you look at the markets right now for most cryptos, they're, I mean, wouldn't you say they're kind of low? Like right now, um,
Yeah.
crypto, is kind of low. I mean, we can interpret that in several ways, right? Number one, for most of us are optimistic about where it can go, but I think that a lot of people are waiting. I think the markets are low. This is just my um, my opinion, but I think the markets are low because people are waiting, because we're about to have some serious regulation, and people are kind of holding back and saying, okay, let's see what happens, right? Um, and but I think, like I said, I think regulation is a good thing because, like you mentioned, I think that regulation is going to not just, like, if 10 people were talking about crypto, once it's regulated, we're gonna have 50, 100 people talking about it. Like, it's gonna
Sure.
get more, and then also we'll be able to have, you know, no, like, if for imagine if Amazon started accepting crypto, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, that would be an absolute, and I think we will get there. I think we will get there, and it's gonna be the blockchains that have, like you mentioned, I love what you said, utility, that have, it's we need to have something a little bit more than just a picture of an ape,
Yeah.
right?
And
So
exactly. And what one thing I'm excited about, especially for the gaming side, is the metaverse, and then being able to actually have an NFT that you can use as a character that no one else can have, and it might have rare abilities and whatnot. What do you think about the metaverse, and obviously that with working on blockchain technology? Is that something you're excited about? Is that something that you work on at MIT as well, the metaverse?
um right, so I think we mainly, like, at MIT, we're mainly focusing um utility, low transactions. Like, for example, pipeline was one of the projects that we were working on, which is, a way to have decentralized news, right? And that was, of course, on the Algorand. That was the Algorand blockchain. Um, the 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 metaverse, I think it does have great potential, but I think it's going to have a couple obstacles,
Okay.
um, in the sense that, you know generally speaking, um, Facebook, or not Facebook, but Meta,
Yeah.
um, they they kind of have some rebuilding of trust to have. Like, it's not, a lot of people are not really happy with Facebook right now. I Facebook was revolutionary in our lifetime, and I'm kind of cheering for them to do good. I really am, and I think the metaverse might be it, but I still think that there's going to be some obstacles. Because I think we go back to the same thing. I think the biggest obstacle with blockchain um, adaption and the general, like the general public kind of getting on board is trust.
Yeah,
It's it's so funny because you know how do I trust a trustless system, right? Like how do I trust something, you know? And I understand that people, people said the same thing about cell phones. People said the same thing about texting. People said the same thing about social media, and now everybody uses it. Um, but we're dealing with, but blockchain doesn't only deal with profile pics and communication. It deals with your money. It deals, it
yeah,
deals with your assets, right? So people are very, because like I said, if you know, if we were to get like the world as a whole, and if we have, you know, 40 45% of the world on board with
yeah,
blockchain, guess what? There's another 50% that aren't. Um, and and I think that that's it's gonna be up to us. It's gonna be up to us to really have people who are non-technical understand how blockchain can change their lives. We're gonna have to like as a developer community, as an enthusiast community. Um, I love what you're doing. We like it's gonna be up to us to really welcome the non-technical, the maybe the people that aren't don't understand it quite yet.
yeah,
It's going to be up to us to really welcome them in and see that, hey, this is something that can help your life. um, so exclusion is the complete opposite, I think, of what we need adaptation. We need to be more welcoming, I think.
yeah. Sure, all inclusive. So you touched just a little bit on the market at the moment, and I just wanted
Right.
to expand on that because it was interesting what you said. So, and all based on opinion, not financial advice or anything. But so you think the market at the moment is down because people are waiting. So do you think that's the reason? Cryptos are seeing a bit of a sell off.
I think so. I think that people right now are. Sorry, what I meant by people. Let me elaborate. I think that as we know, like the regular stock market, right? The Nasdaq. We know that people, firms are, like, for example, in the Nasdaq, we have whales that buy large amounts of a stock, right? They buy it to control the market. That's how the markets are controlled, right?
Sure.
Um, when why does the price of a stock go up, versus why does it go down, right? The markets are controlled, like that's a given, right?
Yeah.
Um, and I think that the crypto, when the fascinating thing is like when we look at crypto and who is the majority of stock stakeholders in crypto. I think that the majority of us have, you know, a couple hundred, a couple thousand, right? Like, but how many people actually have a couple million,
Yeah.
right? How many people have, and not to stop it, how many people do we think actually have enough crypto that they can control the market? I think that that group is probably smaller than we think. And I think now, do I think like a firm like Goldman Sachs came in and bought a whole bunch of crypto? I don't know. I don't know. But the same way that the regular stock market is controlled by the firms that have direct connection to the Fed and the SEC, I think that the same thing is happening right now with crypto. The thing
Yeah.
is though, is that the price is really low. Like the markets are really low, and I think they're waiting. I think they're waiting to see what happens. I mean, here in the United States, the Biden administration is set to have an executive order on crypto. That's what we've been hearing,
Yeah,
and that is going to affect directly the market. Like, you know, and it has a lot of there's a lot of aspects to it. Number one are taxes. How, at what point, at what amount do I have to pay taxes, right? On the crypto, is it when I sell? Is it what I hold? What have you? But also, you know, there's no regulation, right? If I lose all my crypto tomorrow, who do I talk to?
yeah,
Or if somebody hacks into my wallet, can I call someone and be like, hey, help me, help me? I
yeah,
can't do that. I can't do that. Because guess what? Decentralized means decent means there's no one, right? Besides the nodes, but I mean, there's nobody, there's nobody that is a centralized entity that can come in and can protect you, right? So I think that the governments, they want their, they want to step in to regulate because there is millions and millions and millions of going into crypto, and they don't
yeah.
like that.
No.
They don't like that. So again, that's why I think that the market is low, and I think that especially this year, there's going to be a lot of changes. And the minute that happens, you watch. We're gonna. I think we're gonna go up, and I think that the adoption, if this if this regulation happens the way that we're hoping it does, and it creates a more business friendly environment for those that aren't involved in crypto yet, I think this could be a good thing. What the thing that I fear and the thing that scares me though is that it might be, if there is a regulation and, for example, they start regulating how much, it's not, for example, it's not just you don't pay taxes on when you
Yeah.
sell, but you pay taxes when you hold. I think that's not going to sit well with a lot of people. So it's a lot of things. I'm positive though. I'm really positive about the future. Um, I don't not think that this is the end of crypto. I don't. Um, but I think we a lot of it is in our control. A lot more of it is on our control than we think it is. So it's an exciting time.
So it's interesting you said a positive time for crypto, which is great to hear. What, in your personal opinion, what coins or do you think will perform well in the future? Maybe they're coins you're invested in, maybe they're coins you're just looking at. But I always like to have that conversation and see where people's heads are at. What coins do you think will do or perform well in the future?
I think that I think Bitcoin is going to stay up for a while, but I do think that Bitcoin is like a digital gold. Like it's great, but it's not. I mean, we can't really build on it much, but it's gold. It's there. It's great.
Yeah,
I think Ethereum is going to stay on top. The community, the development, what we can do with Ethereum is great. I think it's going to stay there. The coin that I'm really, really excited about um, is Cardano. I'm really
okay,
excited about Cardano. I think that they're more and more they're doing what Ethereum can't do, and that's lower gas, a little bit, faster, lower gas, and they're creating that community, and they're kind of luring people in because of that. So I think I'm really excited for that. Um, the coins that I personally think that aren't as popular that are going to do good is, for example, Chainlink. I'm
yeah,
really I'm really excited about Chainlink, just because again they have a very specific niche when it comes to development, and the more and more we start developing in blockchain, whether it's Rust, Web3. I think that Chainlink, because of that connection with Oracle, I think it's great. So that's why I think Chainlink is going to be great, and it's not going anywhere. Um, the the one that I think is going to be kind of a fun one in the sense that it's going to kind of, I think Dogecoin, I think that it's going to come back again. It's
Okay.
going to come back strong, but I don't think that it's going to, I don't think it has what Polygon, what Cardano, what Chainlink have, what Ethereum has. It, but it's, but that hype. I mean, people love hype, and people love the fact that, I mean, someone like Elon Musk can single-handedly control, the a market of a single coin like that. So I think
Mad. Yeah.
Dogecoin will come back. But I am really excited. I'm really excited about these coins that are attached to an environment that is really, trying to do things and adapt, and trying to bring in people, like you said, utility. I think Polygon, especially Cardano, I'm really excited about those. Ethereum, I think Ethereum is going to have kind of, I think they're gonna. I don't want to say they're gonna hit a wall.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm trying to say. But I think they're gonna have to. They're gonna have to do something
Well,
really quick.
they've got the waiting a while, haven't they? The 2.0 or ETH2 coming in. So
Yeah.
until something like that happens, maybe like you said, that could be the wall. Until that upgrade happens, there's less gas fees and it's quicker. It changes to proof of stake. It, like you said, it could be flipped by Cardano, Solana. Like we don't know, but it's very interesting. If you could pick, then I'm going to go in between. I was going to say five, but I'm going to say four. Pick four blockchains that you see doing well and staying up there. I know you said you like Cardano, but just put them in order for me. So go start with
Ooh.
number four and work your way to number one.
Number one being the most, right?
Yeah, number one being the most.
Okay. I see Algorand. I see Cardano. Um, I see Ripple. I am
Yeah,
very positive about Ripple. And I know that it's maybe an unpopular opinion, but I really think that Ripple can turn around. And Ethereum, I still think Ethereum is number four, just because um, it's done such an amazing job of building that community, and I think it's going to stay. But like we spoke about, like um, they need to start doing something, and ETH, ETH 2.0,
yeah,
you know, like you, we need to start doing something, because it is getting a little out of hand. These,
yeah,
I mean, paying $50 for a single or 50 USD for a single transaction, that may not be a lot when in the development, but when you're doing that several times, like, that's not really user friendly. So
no, not at all. So Ethereum was four, right?
it's yeah,
So,
I still think Ethereum is still on top right now.
yeah,
Um, but right behind it, I think Ripple. I think Ripple can get there. I really do. It's I'm really excited about what they can do, and if they can pass that, they can pass that obstacle. I think it's definitely going to shoot up.
and and Algorand was your top pick over Cardano. Is that right?
Um, Algorand, Algorand, I think is really headed in a good direction. I
You said
so
you worked on Algorand as well, right?
I worked on a pipeline. Yeah, I worked
Yeah, yeah.
on pipeline, which was one of their projects, and it was really good. It was really about trying to get news, trying to spread news in a really just decentralized way, and unbiased, which was something that was really neat, especially during the 2020 election here in the U.S. So I was really excited about that, and I think that it's it's not just about the, the token that's attached to the blockchain, but it's what they're doing. And yeah, and I'm really excited about the development, and I think that those, you know, I'm Probably the most unpopular thing I've said is that Ripple. I am really excited about Ripple and
Yeah.
XRP. It, um, it's a really good community.
So how many more years left have you got MIT? And when it's
Oh,
all for, what I was going to say, when it's all wrapped up and finished, where are you going to focus your efforts?
so I actually finished in December.
Oh, okay,
Um,
wicked! Congratulations.
yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you. So right now, what I'm doing is I'm just um, I have been applying for some jobs, but mainly I have been working for myself in the freelance,
Yeah,
and also, I created an LLC of my so that I can, start kind of creating those contracts. My biggest thing right now, though, is being able to create, um, the self tokenization. That's my next project, and I want to work on that for a bit. I'm going to be speaking a little bit later this year in Las Vegas and then in Miami at a tech conference, Techopia,
cool.
to talk about really what it means to self tokenize and the idea of it. That's going to be my project, and what I want to do is I want to create a guinea pig. I want to be the guinea pig where I self tokenize myself, and I want to film myself go into a bank and being like, okay, you're Jonathan Rivera? Yes. Okay, can I see some ID? Yeah, here. What's this? Oh, this is my NFT. This is me.
Yeah,
You know, and kind of see their reaction. That's going to be my next project, and because I really want people to understand what the idea of self tokenization and how that can be the future.
yeah. No, I see that working. And how do you visualize that? Would it be as real as possible, or would it be animated, or would it be? Could people then decide? Or
Yeah. It'd be as real as possible. It would have, I would. My goal is to be able to not just not just actually create the NFT of it, but show people how I did it, right?
yeah,
Literally have have the computer up and be, this is how I minted it. Let me show you, and be and really talk about, like we mentioned, the trust aspect.
yeah,
Um, it's Technology is great. Technology is everything, but humans using that technology is even more, right? Technology is nothing if nobody uses it. And if we, it's funny because it's like when we talk about social media, as bad as we talk about it, and as much as we say, oh, they're controlling my data, we all use it still.
yeah,
We all use it. So I think that you know there's several levels of trust, um, but I think that if we can break that wall with NFTs, for example, because I think right now a lot of people, they look at NFTs and they see the fun aspect of it. Oh, a JPEG of LeBron James. Oh,
yeah,
awesome! And that's great. Don't get me wrong. That's awesome and that's wonderful. But people don't understand yet why and how, what what made this possible, what technology made this possible. Um, so it's, I think when we start talking about, because what are the when we talk about people's money, that's really important to them, right?
sure,
When
yeah,
we talk about people's money, people's family, people's health, but there's also something else nowadays, your data. When we talk about your data and why that it's important and how you can protect that data, an NFT can help you protect your data.
yeah,
It's protecting not just your image, who you are, but it's also protecting anybody else from tampering and trying to manipulate that
sure,
for their own use. If we can get people to understand that, I think that they'll immediately say, okay, fine, I get it, I get it, But I think that's going to be a lot harder than we think it will. Like getting people to understand that concept is going to be a lot more difficult than we think
yeah.
it is.
No, it sounds exciting. It sounds like a great idea as well, because I know that people in society suffer with fraudsters, identity theft, applying for credit cards. It's easy once you've got someone's address, name, date of birth, but something like this could literally stop it because it's an NFT and it's recorded on the blockchain. And
Exactly.
I definitely see that being able to secure one's data and stuff. But yeah, it sounds fantastic. I'd like to catch up with you again in the future and see how
Let's do it.
the talks develop and hopefully see the project blossom. But I just want to say thanks ever so much, Jonathan, for chatting with us today. And we'll catch up in the future. I'm excited about the project, and thanks very much for your time.
Thank you. It was awesome. Thank you, Oliver.
Cheers. Thanks, Jonathan. Have a good day.
You too.
Well, there you have it. Jonathan Rivera, blockchain specialist. We spoke about what blockchains he thinks will come up in the future, that he predicts that will do well. He really liked Ripple. He loved Algorand, Cardano, and he still thinks Ethereum will do well. And his project about using your data as an NFT, that's interesting as well. As always, if there's anything you want to chat about, pop them down in the comments below. Throw me a like, get yourself subscribed to Crypto Bible, press the notification bell icon on so you never miss any future episodes of Oliver and Experts. Thanks ever so much for joining me for today's episode, and I'll see you on the next one.